Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the 345 method for setting out of a building. At the end of this video you can be able to understand it properly. So 345 method, the 3, then 4 and 5. So whatever value you are to multiply with this 345, you are going to use it throughout. Let's say you are using 1, you multiply 3 by 1, multiply 4 by 1, multiply 5 by 1. So this 3 multiplied by 1, 4 multiplied by 1, 5 multiplied by 1 that decided to use, it cannot be kind of applicable for a building that is up to, let's say, 100 feet by 100 feet or 50 by 100. If you use 345, the area that used you have used in getting the setting at will be too small. So because of this, it is better for you to, for 50 by 100, 100 by 100, I can just go ahead and multiply by 10. If I multiply by 10, 3 multiplied by 10, I will have 30. 4 multiplied by 10, I will have 40. 5 multiplied by 10, I will have 50. So it becomes 30, 40, 50. Then the 50 becomes, that's the 5 is the diagonal measurement, should not be more than, should be 50. If it's not up to 50, it means that it is not yet squared. So when you are taking the measurement of the horizontal and the vertical side, which is the 30, the 40, then the diagonal side becomes 50. If it's kind of not up to 50, then you have to make your adjustments. If it's more than 50, you have to make your adjustments. I'm going to pin down on the description the method for setting out a building. I've explained that one before. I have a video on that, so I'm going to pin it on the description so that you'll be able to watch the video along with this as well when you are done watching this. So the 345 method, so it becomes 30, 40, 50 when you multiply it by 10. So let me go ahead and explain further. It's trying to tell you that this 345 method is not, what I'm about to explain is not all about that the for you to get square for setting out is just about 30, 40, 50. No. And you've already understand how we got the 30, 40, 50 for setting out. So it came from this 345 method. So now for example, the I want to set out a building that is not up to 100 feet, or it's not even up to 50 feet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider a value that is not that big, because if I decide to use 345, the 30, 40, 50 rule for a building that is not up to 50 feet, let's say 40 feet by 40 feet building, I cannot be able to get the, let's say, no, not 40 feet by 40 feet building. Let's say my building is 20 feet by 20 feet. I cannot be able to make use of the 30, 40, 50 measurements, because it's going to, let's say the size of the land is 20 feet by 20 feet to the road, so, and the road is very busy, so I cannot align my setting out to the road. So definitely the 30, 40, 50 rule will not be applicable in this very aspect. So I can make use of, let's say, make use of let me make use of 3. So I'm going to multiply my 345 by 3. 3 multiplied by 3, that's 9. 4 multiplied by 3, that's 12. 5 multiplied by 3, that's 15. So I can be able to make use of this 3 multiplication with the 345 method, because the the 5 multiplied by 3 is 15, which is not up to 20 feet. So I can be able to get my 15 feet measurement. So this three multiplication with the 3 4 5 rule is okay. So let's say, for example, I decide to make it 5 multiplication by 4. I don't think it will be 20, although I can still get my measurements. It's still okay. But if it's up to 5, it's more than the 20 measurements, is not applicable. This one is 4 5. Yeah, okay. I don't you're not to kind of actually consider the diagonal when you're making your consideration. You kind of consider the length and the breadth side measurements. Then if the length and the breadth can be able to take the measurement, then you can use the value for smaller building setting out. So like as I was saying, I said 20 by 20 feet. Okay, now 3 multiplied by 5 is equal to 15. 5 multiplied by 4 is equal to 20. So if this 5 is multiplied by 4 and is equal to 20, you are not, you can get it though, but you cannot be able to take your 20 feet measurement from, you can take your 20 feet measurement anyways, it's still okay. Then for this one, if you multiply by 6, your value will extend more than the 20 feet measurement. So you cannot multiply it by 6. You cannot multiply it by 6. So because you cannot multiply it by 6, so definitely you cannot make use of 6 multiply by 6. So if you are to multiply the 3 4 5 method, you can multiply it by 4. For example, I want to multiply by 4. The 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12. 4 multiplied by 4, which is 16. 5 multiplied by 4, which is 20. So whatever value you are to multiply this 3 4 5 method with, make sure that you are going to multiply it with each individual figure. 3, let's say I want to multiply by 50. 3 multiplied by 50, I'll get the that's 150. Then 4 multiplied by 50, 5 multiplied by 50. So when you are done with your multiplication, the value that you got from each individual becomes the 3 4 5 value that you're going to use when you are taking your setting out. So that's where this 3 4 5 method is just the baseline for your setting out. Let's say you want to make use of 20 for your 3 4 5 method. You have to multiply 3 multiplied by 20, 4 multiplied by 20, 5 multiplied by 20 becomes your 3 4 5 value, because you are working with an area that is kind of distance that is not a short distance, a wider area. You are going to kind of increase it so that your square will take a very long distance and you get a perfect result, instead of kind of taking square from an area that is very small. So if you understand this 3 4 5 method, you can be able to, it's not always 30 40 50. No, if you are going to work with a larger area, let's say for example I want to work with larger area of let me say I'm considering if the measurement, the length and the breadth that I'm going to take is more, and I don't want to use the 3 4 5 method, I don't want to use the 30 40 50 method. I can multiply it by 40. I can say 30 multiplied by 40, 40 multiplied by 40, 5 multiplied by 40 becomes my value for my setting out. So it depends on the area that you are to get the square of. Depending on the area that you have to get the square of. Another thing is based on, according to this measurement, maybe the measurement is up to, let's say 3 4 5 meters, you are going to multiply by 20. For example, 3 multiplied by 20, 4 multiplied by 20, 5 multiplied by 20. Or let's say the value that you have to multiply with, the you know that you have to make use of your measuring tape when you are taking your measurements. So the measurement that your measuring tape, the standard, the highest value that your measuring tape can take, that's what you also consider, so that you not go beyond the measuring tape that you have to measure with. So for larger area, maybe for larger distance, I think it's better to make use of steel tape for your setting out, because all these normal other type of tape, if it's not a steel type of tape, the depends on the way the person that drew the tape. If the person tighten the tape, then you also get a result. If the tape is loose, you also get another result. So with steel tape, you can just take your measurements easily, and there'll be no addition of measurements. So steel tape is always better than the other type of tape. So the 3-4-5 method is very applicable. If you understand this 3-4-5 method, you can make use of this 3-4-5 method. It will be of great advantage to you. If you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click on the notification bell below. You'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. See you in another video. Bye.